Hey guys, welcome so much to Taming the Chaos. Today I am joined by the fabulous Dana Robinson. Wait, did I say Dana or Deanna? I
It's
already said
Deanna.
it wrong. Deanna. Right before we got on, I just asked her that and I had it in my head and then we got on and I was like, no, I'm going to say it wrong. Deanna. With the Deanna Robinson, she is the owner of Kid Cakes, which is, well, I'll let you tell a little bit about it. But in Roanoke, and we just met a few weeks ago, but I have been secretly stalking her on social media. And we've been friends for a long time, Deanna. You just didn't know it. so, so today I'm really excited to have you here, so we can actually like be real friends. And so I'm super excited to hear from her today. As you know, my heart for this show is just to reach out to other entrepreneurs and tell you that you are not alone, that there are days when it feels heavy. There are days when the list is so big and you might even have a team, but it's still hard to manage and it still feels very lonely. And I want to create a community of people that understand that you're not alone. And there's some really great entrepreneurs out there and business owners that are making it, that are doing something and they've learned something and we can learn from them. And so I get super excited every time I have an amazing entrepreneur on here so that we can pick their brain and hear what they've learned. So Deanna, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get it right. Deanna, will you just do a quick intro about yourself and tell us just the quick version of how you came to start Kids Cakes and what's unique about it?
My name is Deanna Robinson, and I make literally the best cake you will ever eat in your life. Uh, what is different about it? It is when you go to a shop and you see these beautiful cupcakes that have all this frosting on it, and then you take a bite out of it, and then you feel like, oh, okay, and that was it. I make the cake that makes you as happy as you were looking at it, eating it. And it is moist, airy, light, and it makes you happy. And I always tell people, I guarantee you, you will be happy after you eating a cupcake. And people don't believe me until they do.
Why the kids part of Kids Cakes?
Well, that's because my son actually came up to me one day and said, Mommy, can I sell cupcakes in the neighborhood? And I said, What cupcakes? And then he said, The cupcakes I'm gonna make. And I was like, make me these. So I had him make me these cupcakes and I go, Oh, like you can do better than this, baby. So I made a batch of cupcakes and he goes, Oh my God, you can sell these because he's so like animated and just loud. So then I was like, well, do you guys want to? And he was like, yeah. So it was my four kids there, and then my roommate's two kids were there. So we had six kids there. And they went out in the neighborhood and sold cupcakes to all the neighbors. And they would send me back the orders through text. We would cook them, and they would be delivered within 2 hours of the people ordering them. And we at the end of the day they made $73 as their profit, and I asked them if they wanted to reinvest in the company or if they wanted to split the money now, and they said reinvest. And so we
Oh,
sat
you're
down.
raising some smart kids.
Yeah, we sat down and had they have a kid council where they have a president and a secretary, and it's what they do to come to fix to resolve things among themselves before taking it to a parent. So myself and the kid council sat down and we came up with the name.
I love it. That's so great. I love that, Deanna. Oh my gosh.
Well, think about it like
Deanna.
this. It's phonetic. So it's D Anna. Like it's phonetic.
Deanna. I got it. I got it. We're good. We're going to move right along. What I want to know, one of the biggest things that I hear from business owners is they have a passion. So they have this one thing they love to do it, and they know that other people need it, and so they can sell it. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to do a business. And so they jump into business and they find out really quickly there's more to business than this one thing. I thought I could just make this one thing and sell it. So I want you to tell us, like, you obviously know how to bake cupcakes. Amazing. What about business have you had to do that you were like, I did not know I was going to have to do this?
Social media marketing. That was a I know that people use social media to grow businesses and to sell. I did not realize it was going to be the backbone of everything that I built, like as I was building. Every vendor event I went to, do you have an Insta? Do you have a Facebook? Are you on TikTok? And it was everywhere I went. And I'm not a big social media person. I had to learn how to tag. I had to learn how to like just be on there and say stuff, but not say too much. Be
Girl, I
real,
still
but
am
not
so
too
confused
real.
about the difference between a reel and a story. I'm like, what am I doing again?
Yeah, and why is it on there for only 24 hours? And then after the 24 hours, what happens to it?
Where
Like,
did
does
it
it go to
go?
my, yeah, does it come on my page? Does it disappear? Like, what is happening right now? I don't understand.
We're not telling you how old we are. Yeah, that is hilarious. I think that a lot of us can appreciate that for sure. Um, I think one thing that I've learned, and I didn't want to do the social media, which is funny because people think that I love to do that. I do not love to do that. I don't know of any business owner that loves to do social media, but I love to talk to people. And so I just put myself in the place of pretending that I'm just talking to a person like today. I'm just talking to Deanna. I'm just talking to our friends out there. And I really work on one of the things I just really work on being real and being authentic. And that's what caught my eye with you because I started watching you. I don't remember when. It was way before the fire thing. Actually, I think it was when you got stopped. You
Those
shared the
police.
story of getting stopped. Are you going to share that today or is that a no?
No, so okay, like I got so much, like,
You
when I
got a
shared that
following after that day.
when
Yeah.
I shared that story, I shared it because it was a crazy story. You know, and I was like, this is insane to me. So I posted it, but I got so much like negative feedback from it, from people telling me you shouldn't have posted that, you need to take it down. People will stop buying from you if you put negative stuff on your Facebook page. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is real life. Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm dealing with as a business owner, as a person, as,
And if
whatever.
I'm not answering my phone, it might be because I'm in jail.
Yes.
I'm just teasing.
So short story. I
Yeah, you have to tell the
I
story.
I went to so a couple years, I think it was a year ago or whatever. I can't even remember. I got pulled over, going like I was flying. And I was going like
Was this in Keller?
it was Westlake.
Okay.
So I was going like 75 and a 55 or something like that coming off the highway, and the cop was like,
Which is normal here in DFW. If you're listening from outside of here,
"It's
everybody
pretty,
flies.
it's pretty
There's no,
normal."
it's not a speed limit. It's a speed suggestion.
Suggestion, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my ticket. I took my ticket with whatever. I got three tickets that day. I got the ticket for I got a ticket for speeding, ticket for no registration, and ticket for like no insurance or something like that. So I got the insurance one taken care of because I actually did have it. I got the
You
registration
just
thing
didn't have it.
taken care of, and then I paid the other ticket, and then I paid it online, but didn't pay it until it said we are about to put a warrant out for your arrest. And I was like, oh crap, I got this ticket, I have to pay it. So I paid the ticket. I paid it online. So the guys, when they pulled me over, they I was at a red light and they were behind me at the red light and just decided to run my test. And people are like, no way, that doesn't happen. You have to be doing something. I'm like,
It
yes,
does
it does
happen. Yes.
happen. I've seen it happen. Like I've been in a
Yeah.
police car when they did it.
Yeah.
So my uncle, and I got to ride with him a couple times. So I so they tell me that they have a warrant out for my arrest, and I'm like, for what? And they're like, well, it looks like you have an unpaid ticket. And I was like, I paid it. He was like, well, we can take care of that when we get to the police station. So I'm like, okay. So they go through my whole car,
Did
like
you
search
cry? I
everything.
just need to know right now. Did you cry?
No,
Oh,
no.
I'd have been on on the ground in tears.
No, I was talking to them and I was like, hey, do you guys eat cupcakes? You should come to my shop in Roanoke. I was like, I will totally hook you up with free cupcake. I was like, once this is all done, I was like, you should still have the best cupcake of your life. Like, I was,
Is this bribery?
no, not even a little bit. I was like, because like I take cupcakes to the police station and cakes and stuff like that. So I was like, come and get a cupcake.
Yeah. Oh
So
my God.
they were one of them was really nice and one of them was kind of a dick. But he
The cop back up, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and they were when I say they went through everything, I mean pulled out everything out of my purse and everything out of my car and they went through everything. And then they took me to jail. I got fingerprinted, I got my mugshot taken. Um, and then they put me in a room and I was just in there and I had like a doctor's appointment at like 1 o'clock and I'm like, can can we talk at least so we can get this taken care of? So they looked through the system and find that I did um, pay it. It just didn't go through the court system as being taken care of.
Hmm.
So I was done and at my appointment by 1 o'clock. But my whole point of the whole story was that like you can have a warrant out for your arrest and not even know about it, and you can be at a stoplight not doing anything and still get pulled over. And all of these people like they started turning it into like this racial issue, and I was like,
I don't
wait,
think
I
you came
didn't
across.
say
I don't think for the record, you did not come across. You were not painting it as a racial issue at
it
all.
wasn't at
I
all.
didn't think.
Yeah, and one of the cops was black. Like I didn't even think about it as being a racial issue.
Hmm.
I thought they had nothing to do. So, and like, wanted something
Yeah.
to do. So, but
Yeah.
it was but yeah, people told me that if I
So did
shared
you
too
take it down?
much, no. I mean, no,
Oh,
I
okay.
did take it down. I took it down that day because people told me to. And then the next day I went back on and I said, you know what? I took down a post yesterday and I wish that I didn't take it down. And people keep telling me how to live my life on social media. And I decided that if you have a problem with me, then you should tell me personally. Like you can send me a message, you
Yeah.
can send me a text,
Yeah.
you do not have to call me on the line. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, that was the one post that I regretted taking down.
Well, I think that your social media following grew that day.
It,
Right, wrong, or indifferent. Because I think that it came up in my feed and I started watching you from that day on. And I mean, obviously, I was horrified by the situation. And then, yeah, so we started watching you. And I think, I think that that's the thing with business owners. We can paint this pretty picture that everything's hunky dory and that everything's perfect, but it's really not. And I think that something really connecting happens when we appear on social media as a normal person. And that's what I want to come across as. I want to come across as I'm just a normal person. I have a gift in this area. I'm not gifted in every area. I don't make great cupcakes, but I have a gift in this area. And so I think it's so important as entrepreneurs and business owners when we're posting on social media, let's be real, authentic. Don't air your dirty laundry. Don't be weird.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? I don't tell you when me and my husband are having a fight. Well, there is a post out there about one of our fights recently, but I didn't tell you the details of it. I just made a joke about it. Um, don't air your dirty laundry, but be a real person because I think your customers can even connect with that.
See,
I think it's really important.
I made a post that was like, it was a car that we did. I don't know if you saw the post. It was a disaster. The whole, the whole thing was a disaster. Like it was, it was just the car itself, like the cake. It was horrible. So I posted about how bad it came out and how I, as a business owner, handled it incorrectly because I should have contacted the customer sooner to say, hey, this isn't working out so that they could have had an option to go in another direction. Like, but that was something that I didn't think of because I was in emergency and trying to fix it mode. And when I posted that it was my mistake because I should have talked to them. And I was told by several people, you should not have posted that because people will, you have to be perfect. Like people want to see only the good things that you do. They'll think that if you post something negative, that you don't have time to do what they need you to do, or you don't have the skill to do what they need you to do. And I'm like, but I made a mistake and I'm coming across as someone who made a mistake who
And
is
on
extremely
LinkedIn,
talented
that's a great platform for that kind of discussion.
for when you make a mistake and
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, didn't know that.
Yeah. People do that all the time on LinkedIn. Let's talk about our mistakes. We learn from them.
Yeah.
And
And I don't
somebody might see that day and be like, "You know what? I have a client that I need to deal with that I did something that didn't, I want to reach this level and I came in at par and I just need to, address that with that client and say, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Sometimes I don't know everything. And I want to be really real with my clients. Like, hey, I don't know everything. I've got a whole lot of people I know though. They know everything.
Yes, yes, that's what it is.
All of us together, we know everything, but I don't know everything. I can't answer everything for you. Again,
Hmm.
I'm really good in this area, not everything. So I think it's really good. Um, besides the day that you got to meet the Westlake Police Department up close and personal, can you tell us, Deanna, of
Oh,
a
that was actually
day?
Keller Police.
Oh, it
It was
was
Keller
Keller.
Police.
I
Well,
was
I
going to say,
got
this
pulled over
sounds like Keller.
originally in Weston,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but it was Keller
So
Police who pulled
for
me.
we love Keller PD, man. They keep things safe, locked down. I am back in the blue. But if you're not from this area, if you're from this area, there's some places you can get away with some speed suggestions. Keller is not one of them.
Mm.
They run a very tight ship there in Keller. My son called me one night one morning. He says, I got pulled over last night. It was his first time. And I said, Keller? He said, yeah. And I said, I told you. As soon as we started teaching him to drive, I told him, Keller, you're going to meet the Keller PD someday if you drive like that. And sure
Yep.
enough, he did.
Yep.
And yeah, that's so funny. Tell us of a day that, like, as an entrepreneur, it was a very bad day. It was a bad day. And how did you get over it? Get past it, not over it. Get past it.
So if this was my second event, maybe third event, second, it was early on. And it was at Trinity Art Park. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but when you go in, it's a bunch of restaurants around it. It's
Okay.
absolutely gorgeous. I
Oh,
love
yeah,
this
yeah,
place.
yeah.
So I go, and when I travel, do these events, I take all of my cupcakes. And at the time, I did all the cupcakes at home and then took them to the location. And then when people ordered them, I would pull them out and then give them to them. That's, the way. So I'm walking at this, my fiance, who was not my fiance at the time, we had just started dating, he was supposed to come with me, and he had a bad night and kind of like ditched me, like ghosted me in that night. So I'm already in a bad mood, right? So I'm going. My brother is there. My brother's special needs. He just kind of comes with me like everywhere, and he helps me out in believable ways. And my mom and dad just they live 5 minutes away from Trinity Art Park, so they just happen to be there. So I'm walking in to where my booth space is, and as I'm walking in, I trip and drop all of the cupcakes, and they are frosted already. And so in the Tupperware containers, which they stayed in there, thank God, um, they all just jumbled into one giant mess. And I just started bawling. I just started crying. And my mom came up to me and said, honey, this is one of those moments where you just pack up everything and just go home. She was like, there's nothing else you can do. And I looked at her And I go, I have worked too hard and did too much work to get to this point. I am not going home. I am wiping off all of the frosting off of these cupcakes and I'm refrosting them and I'm going to sell them. I was like, I am not going home. So then she was like, she told me later, she was like, that was the moment that she realized that I was a real business owner, like I was a real entrepreneur, and that she, like, that was the first time that she had faith in me as a business owner. And I did just that. I cleaned up the cupcakes because they were all in the Tupperware container, and I threw away the ones that I couldn't use, and I refrosted them and made them look good and put them in the packages. And it was my, to that date, it was my highest selling day. Like I sold the most cupcakes that day. And I, at the end of it, I was just like, nothing is going to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep going. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is just one of those things.
Did you
And
always
yeah.
know you were going to be an entrepreneur? Did you always have something inside of you, like just a flicker, or
Oh,
did it wake up at
yeah.
some point?
Yeah, there's this when I was in the first grade, there's a video of my first grade teacher. She was awful to me. She hated me. She We were doing Princess and the Pea, and I guess I kept trying to take charge or something. I kept telling them what they were doing wrong in the play. Eating child.
It's just leadership. They just need
Yeah,
to recognize this is
they just
leadership.
yes. So she stopped the video and said, "You see that, Deanna? You see that? This is you trying to take control, telling people what to do. This is ugly behavior." And like she just went on and on and on, just yelling at me in front of the whole class. And then I was just like, "I shouldn't have did it, man." But I that it was like early on when I realized that I wasn't going to do well working for other people. Not because I couldn't work for other people, but it was because it's too big. Like it's too big. Like what what I see and what I want to do, it's too big. And yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but no, it's always been in me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what if I was going to sell something or make something or anything like that. Like I hate baking. I mean, I've always hated baking. I actually went to culinary school and said I will never be a baker. I said those words. And
Famous last words right there.
yeah, yeah,
Never say never.
never say never.
Oh, that's so funny.
My
That's so
passion comes
funny.
in creativity
Yeah. Your daughter, you have to tell the story of what she did at Roanoke Days.
with
Was it your
thought.
daughter? She
The
became a little entrepreneurial
Oh
that day.
my gosh, this little girl. Okay, she just turned 12. She went to
She totally doesn't mind us talking about her, right?
no, she I'm pretty sure she loves it. She
Good.
went to the water department because the water department was giving out these these little blue bags. They had a coloring sheet in there, some crayons, and a rubber ducky. And she came back to our booth with 2 arm lengths of bags. She was like, "Look, mommy, they gave me all these bags." And I was like, "Why did you keep taking them?" She was like, "They kept giving them to me." So I'm like, when we're done, we're taking those back. And she's like, okay. So we go through, we sell, I completely forget these bags exist. I'm way on other things, dealing with other stuff. Later that night, I find out that she's been making money because the water department ran out of these bags to give to people, but she had 60 of them. So she decided to sell them to people. What she got for free, she sold to these unwitting people. Nobody, I was so mad and so proud at the same time.
Right.
She even sold one of the bags for $5 to someone here at the bar. I'm like, oh, this is
She created a
insane.
little supply and demand situation there.
Yes, she did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, as
Like,
a parent, I felt you when you posted that. I felt like I can feel the shame and I can feel the pride all at the same time.
Hmm.
Like there's just something there, like, wait, um, that was hilarious.
She
That's
sold
awesome
number
that she did
one.
that.
She sold number one for the candy bars. Like, you know how they sell candy bars in those little boxes or whatever?
Yeah.
She was the number one seller in the whole school because she brought them to the bar and was
Oh my
selling them
gosh.
to
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
customers.
Yeah. That's awesome. What a
Yeah.
little entrepreneur. Um, you said something, you said you didn't feel like you would ever be happy working for someone else. And so I know we've talked a little bit about your story and there was definitely leading up to this. Like you can look back at your story and see everything was leading up to this and that you were meant to do this. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that can testify to that. And for me in my own life, it felt like always being a round peg trying to fit in a square hole or being a
Yeah.
square peg trying to fit in a round hole. And I always tried. I always really like you, Deanna. I got in trouble. It was my second grade teacher that was not a fan of me, and that's because I would tell her what she was doing not right and wrong, and um, respectfully. But it was always there, and you just felt like, and I always tried to fit in somewhere. And I even started to think there's something wrong with me there's something wrong with me that I'm not fitting in this hole. And I would look around at the companies I would find myself in and be like, why can everybody else fit here and I can't fit here? And then I started to really discover that that's the way the Lord made me. Like he made me square. He didn't make me to fit in that round hole. He made Deanna square, so she didn't fit in round holes. And a lot of entrepreneurs, we have these issues because we went through all these trying and trying and trying to fit in when we weren't. What's the saying? You're not called to fit in. You're called to stand out. And not that everybody's not special. Like God, they're all made special. They're all made in the image of God. But some people are made square and they're not supposed to fit in. They're supposed to stand out. And a lot of entrepreneurs have that same story that, I just know that I didn't fit in. And so I decided to start my own business and then somehow success comes from it. Is that
It
how
used to scare
yeah.
me
Yeah.
because when you don't know where you fit in or how you fit in somewhere, and like how you were saying, like you start to question like who you are. Are you doing something wrong? And I would even make myself believe that I belong somewhere that I kind of knew that I didn't. Like I worked for American Airlines, and working for American Airlines was one of the greatest experiences that I've ever had. Like, but I hated my job, like, but I love flying. So I would tell people like I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna be at American forever. And most people, like even my dad, occasionally says, "Do you ever think about going back to American?" Because they see that as being the dream of moving
Hmm.
up in corporate America.
Stable.
And I'm like, I want to move up in corporate America, but I want it to be my corporate. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. So
I have no
are
desire.
you
I
a
mean, I
first
have a
generation
desire to go.
entrepreneur?
But no.
Yeah. Are you first generation entrepreneur?
No. So my mom and dad, no, my mom and dad started their own companies several times. Um, my aunts and uncles have tried several times. I think that's where I guess kind of some animosity came from
Okay.
because they
Yeah.
would. I have passed point where they had given up,
Okay.
and I could
Yeah.
see where they could have made it if they kept going.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between an
Yeah.
actual entrepreneur. I mean, I
Yeah.
hate to say that, but
Yeah.
there's a difference.
Yeah. What are some processes and systems, like is there any processes or systems that you've put into place that have helped make your life easier as a business owner?
I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do that in a lot of different ways because honestly, my life is super chaotic and hectic. Like, I have, four kids, a special needs brother, and a fiance who is like all of them help me, but it's super chaotic all the time, like all the time. And I am trying to figure out the best process and the best system to set up for our household. But the only thing that's really working for me right now is um, I have to constantly communicate. all the time. Like I can't just think stuff in my head and say, okay. So the way that I used to do cakes, like our cake orders, is I would remember them. Like I didn't write them down. I just would remember them. Do you know how ridiculous that is with a
That's
system?
ridiculous.
Like, yes, that is a horrible plan.
Yeah.
So I actually hired a virtual assistant, and she made forms for me and like order forms
Good.
and emails and stuff like that. So it's getting
Good.
better.
Good. How did you decide what you can give to your VA?
Uh, so that took me a while because I have trust issues. I don't
Okay.
trust. I
Yeah.
mean, when you give a VA, you have to give them passwords to like your email and all this other stuff. And I literally just did that this week, and she's been working for me for like 6 months. Um, because I wanted to make sure that she was like a legit person who wasn't going to come in and, steal all of my company secrets or something like that. I mean, like it's something so small, but it's huge at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah. How did you find her?
And Facebook, I went into a VA page. There's actually like a VA page, and it's worldwide. The girl that I found, she is actually from the Philippines, and she went to school for English major. So we'll have like video calls, and
Oh, good.
she's really, really good. Like she is extremely organized, extremely talented. And if I say I need this, she'll have it to me within like a day. I had her, she made me a spreadsheet that has every customer that I've ever helped with their phone number, email address, and what they ordered. Like, she did all of that just because I sent her the order forms that she made. And I was like,
Yeah.
here, can you do something with these? And yeah, no, she's made it definitely easier. And I need to utilize her more because I, I- I'm trying to get through I can't handle everything on my own.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. What are those order forms built on?
Uh, oh
How
yeah.
does someone order from you?
Oh yeah, those orders. They order by calling me or messaging me. I do a lot of orders through text or email, like because we
Okay.
just talk things through, or they'll come to the shop and do it. Pricing a cake is very personal. Like it's very personal. It's very
Customized.
specific. Yeah,
Yeah.
customized is
Yeah.
the word, yes. And so you can't just say, well, my cakes cost this much. And I think that's the hardest thing for people to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you have to know what they want. You don't have some like ready a dozen chocolate cupcakes I can just come pick up.
I do.
Okay, you do.
I
I
do
thought
have
so.
cupcakes. I do have cupcakes that you can come and get at any time. I have 12 flavors every single day, plus a flavor of the week. And then for the only thing that's really customized are the cakes where you have to order those in advance. I am gonna start doing cakes where they're like in the display case, but I need more foot traffic on a daily basis in order to do that, so I don't have wastage.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. What's one piece of advice before we go you can give to somebody that's finding themselves being square, trying to fit in a round hole, and they have an entrepreneurial dream in them?
It would be take the first step. Nothing, you never will go anywhere at all until you take that first step. And it's the scariest one. I mean, to me, it's the scariest one, but it's also the most important one because it says that you are picking your path and you are trusting yourself to go on that path. So when you take that step, that's when that's yeah, the beginning.
That's good. I hear people say the words "I wish." They'll say, "I wish I had a business. I wish I could do that," or "I wish I had this kind of life." And I've really decided in my own self, I'm going to stop saying that because
Hmm.
either it's something that I can do, or I need to talk to somebody that knows how to do it instead of just throwing I wishes out into the universe. Instead of just saying, I wish I had a business or I wish I could do that, you find somebody, this is your story too. You found somebody that encouraged you and pushed you and had gone ahead of you and knew. And so for me, like, instead of just sitting back and saying, I wish that I could do that. I wish that I was as cool as Penny and Deanna. And I wish that I had as much, I wish that I was as bold as Penny and Deanna. Instead of saying that, why don't you get in touch with Penny and Deanna and ask us how we did it? We would
And do
love to
it.
share, right? And we're part of networking groups where we love to share. And we love to share like what that first year was like, what that second year was like. And then there's people in there that have been in there for 20 years, and we can learn from those people, sit with those people instead of saying stupid things like I wish, and looking at other people's lives and thinking that somehow it was handed to them.
So this year, I decided that this is, you know how people come up with their resolutions?
Uh-huh.
I honestly don't believe in resolutions. So I just decided this is my year of due because I'm so tired of saying, I want to, I could, I think, well, maybe. This is just my year of due. Like instead of wanting to, I'm just doing it. And it's already been significantly different because like I wanted to be on here. So it became important to me. When you asked me to be on, I was like, okay, I will do that. And here
Yeah.
I am. So
Yeah.
this is my year of due. I'm just gonna do things from now on and not talk about it and be about it.
I love it. I'm about to do something this week that I've been dreaming about. And I'm like gonna jump on it because I
What
feel
do you
like
think?
it's, yeah, it's the year of do. I love it. This is the year of do. Well, Deanna, I so appreciate you being on here today and talking with me. And I hope that somebody connects with you. I hope that from watching this, somebody comes and gets some of your cupcakes.
Yeah.
I'm fighting with diabetes, so I can't eat your cupcakes, but I do go and look at them quite often. And they are beautiful. But yeah, it's been great to get to meet you. I can't wait to see more of your story unfold and continue to connect with you on social media and watch your funny stories. You tell that little
Thank
girl
you.
of yours to keep going, to stop stealing bags, but keep going. She's got something special inside of her. When we go off the live, stay on for just a minute and I'll say bye to you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
so
You
much for
guys
having
join
me.
me next week here at noon. I'll have another awesome guest here for you.